Hey guys, this is Akkuz from Akkuz Expression Photography and Retouching, and today we will learn how to create a saturated soft color effect. So without wasting a time, let's get started. Okay, so I already have the picture open on my Photoshop, and so you see that this picture is already quite beautiful if you see, and we see that the colors are a little faded more towards dull, but then yes, the color saturation is still quite good. So what we would do is we would actually get it more saturated, as you have seen in the previous image. So this is how we do it. First we'll start with creating brightness and contrast. So I'll increase the contrast and reduce the brightness to a little bit extent, and then I would paint it off her skin. So that means I would actually click on the layer mask and then paint it black. So let me quickly do that. So what I'm doing is I'm actually just painting it onto the girl and her skin and her dress, so that I can keep it, keep the contrast and everything away from her, because I want to do something else on her skin. Let me quickly paint it off. Okay, that looks good to me. Next up, we would actually go ahead and click on levels, and what I'm trying to do is I'm actually getting the exposure a little down and bringing up the highlights a little up. What that would do is it would actually make the subject stand out again. So and similarly I would also paint that effect off on her skin and face. Okay, we're done. This is the before and after. And now we would actually go on to the curves, but before that let me just quickly check if I can do something else. I think curves is what it should be. So let me click on curves, and I would directly go to the red channel first. And what I'm doing here is I actually want to add some blue sort of effect onto the wood and the background, so that I can actually make it stand a little out. But then I do not want to affect the orange that is already there. So I would remove I would move the slider from the bottom towards the right hand side, and then up towards the left hand side. What that will do is it will actually give us a red versus sort of a blue contrast. And then I'd go to the blue channel and do the same thing, but then this time I would be a little more subtle. I want more blues to be visible, so we would ensure that I would just lift it a little up, and then just pull it a little down to get the contrast back in. That looks good. I would create one more curves layer to add some more contrast to it. Okay, I actually clicked on it by mistake at the bottom, so let me quickly do this, and then we would actually go ahead and do it on the top. I mean, I'll just move the layer on the top and you'll see it. Just a moment. So you see it actually picked up a lot of effect and it's not looking that good to me. So maybe we can just settle it down a little bit. We'll just pull it down, pull the slider down. Right. And here we would actually pull it up so that it's a very subtle effect, very subtle. We need to ensure that we do not overdo it so that it actually keeps the beauty of it intact. The next step will go to color balance. And then in color balance, again, I would just work on the reds and blues. So in the highlights, in the shadows, I would actually add some more blues. And then in the highlights, I would add more red so that it actually gives that blue to red contrast. That looks good. And then just paint it off her skin because I do not want her to go blue at the moment. And then do the same on her legs. So you can see we are already getting that effect that we want, and that looks pretty good. It looks more saturated, it looks more contrasty, it's more orange, and it's sort of a look which is more pop, more color popping sort of an expression. So I'll just warm it up a little bit by adding the photo filter and use the warming color, but it would be very subtle, just about a little. See how different it looks at the moment. So now let me just quickly merge all the layers so that we can go to camera raw. You can see the difference already. It's looking quite beautiful. And then now we would move on to the camera raw. In here I would just do some subtle changes, like I just want more blue, so I would actually click on the temperature, as move it to towards blue, and then the tint to be a little more towards pink. Very subtly I would actually work on the shadows and the blacks, and very subtly I would increase the whites and the highlights. Not much of a difference, but yeah, that would actually add up a lot in the end. And then I want the clarity to be there, so I would just add a little more clarity. You can see the difference. It's already looking so beautiful. And then I would go to the saturation, and then in the hue I would just highlight the colors that I want the hue to look like. So I'd work on the green ones and then the red ones because I want it to be looking a little more red. And then I would also increase a little bit of blue and aqua so that it gives me that blue tint. Very subtle, we don't have to overdo it. And then I'll go to saturation and then just increase the blues a little bit, increase the reds a little bit. And then go to the dehaze, and then I'll just reduce it very subtly, very subtle. I would just dehaze it a little bit. Once you think we got the exact result, we can just click on OK. You can see the difference, very subtle. And then here also it shows major difference. Now I want to make it a little more dark on the right top hand side where it shows quite green. So the reason why I want to make it dark is just to ensure that it's not taking away the beauty of all the darks that we have in the picture. So this would be a very small change. What I would do is actually just select the foreground color, make it gray, and then just paint it randomly onto the new layer which I just created. That's it. And then once I do that, I will just click on blur and then Gaussian blur, and then here I would just blur it completely, just enough for it to be visible actually. So I think that looks fine. I'll just click on OK, and then I'll just try to see if that effects works good there. I want to make it more dark, so I'll just click on darken. Yeah, that looks good. And then I'll just transform it and increase the size so that I can actually apply it onto all the green that we have on that part. Like so. Very subtle again, nothing crazy. See the difference? I'm going to merge the layers again. And then I created a duplicate layer and I have just blurred it, and then I'm just applying it so that actually adds more contrasty colors. But I don't want to go very crazy. This is again just to add more softness to the image, so it would be very subtle, 10 or 12%. You can see the difference. And then let me merge it again. Then we would go to my plugin, which is Topaz Lab Denoise Phi. I want to make it very soft. I want the dress to look like it's velvet. So we would run Topaz Denoise. What it would do is it would actually reduce all the noise from the picture, and that way we'll actually have a very soft effect. That's it. You see the difference? Just click on OK, and it's quite quick, and right away we would see there is a lot more softness added to the picture. That's it. And then here's the difference before and after. Now I would just want to add a little more red to it to end it up. So I'll go to curves, not levels, I'm sorry, curves. Yes, and then select the red channel and just bump it up a little bit. Very subtle, nothing crazy. So that's about it, and then I'll merge it. So looks like we got the effect that we wanted, and this is the before and the after. So if you like the video, just give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel for more such videos. Do let me know what you want to see. Thank you.